Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So before we get started with this video, I just want to let you guys know that down below in the description box there will be a link to sign petitions or give donations for the Black Lives Matter movement. This is very important. I highly encourage you to take part. I've already signed some petitions, and the more people who do things will bring about a greater change to make the world a better place. Okay, so now that I have addressed that, I just also want to point out something else, very small, not life-changing, but I'm wearing makeup today. I don't do that often. I just feel like I'm playing dress up if I put makeup on, so the sophistication to it hasn't really gotten to me that much, but I prefer not to wear makeup half the time because it takes up way too much time. But the reason why I'm wearing it is because my face, underneath all of this, my acne has gotten really bad, like even be able to tell, but it hurts a lot and I just wanted to cover up most of it just to put on a nice face because I don't want to look disgusting. Anyway, now that that is out there and in the open, let's get on to what today's video is going to be about. For this video, I'm going to be telling you all the books I want to read in June. Now, I'm not going to get like a ton of books because most of them already are pretty big books. There are a lot of cars outside and it's hot, so I have the windows open and they keep interrupting me. Anyway, I don't want to put like 13 books on my TBR because I know I could probably achieve that since summer is like a few days away and I actually get out of school this Wednesday and I'm very excited. So I will have a lot of time to read. I just don't want to fill my plate with so many books. Like, I might want to choose some throughout the month. So that is why I'm keeping it a small TBR, but still pretty big. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. Now, the first book I'm going to be talking about, I actually already read, but I was planning on reading this in June, which I did, but I still wanted to include it on this list because this was on my original TBR. And that is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. This follows a princess who has to prove herself to her kingdom to ascend to the throne, but when something goes awry, she is forced to flee with a pirate, and she realizes that there's something much bigger happening in her kingdom and she has to figure out a way to stop it. Man, I actually feel like I did a pretty dang good job describing that book. I've had some trouble describing books lately, as you can probably tell from my past videos. Anyway, I don't want to say my feelings on this book because I really want to do a wrap-up because I haven't done one of those in ages, and I just want to talk about my feelings on these books, so I'm not going to say anything about this book. But I did enjoy it. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. The next book is City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. As you can tell, I am already reading it. I am on page 131 and I am very excited to be back in this world. This is my second time reading this series and I've just been in a City of Bones mood. I don't know why. I read that book last month and it was a good time. I also watched the movie, so I think that those two things have really gotten me back in the mood of Shadowhunters, and I'm very excited to continue reading because I cannot remember for the life of me what happens in this book. Like, there are a few things that I remember, but I don't know how everything is going to go down because I read this book, I want to say 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, so it's been a while. So if you do not know what City of Bones is about, which is the first book in the series, it's about Clary Frey, who thinks she's just a normal girl, but then she sees something happen in these cars in a club, and she realizes she can see these mythical creatures like fairies, vampires, werewolves, and shadow hunters, and it's all about what happens next. I mean, most of the book community has read these books already, but I mean, if you didn't know, there's your summary. After that, I'd like to read Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer. This book is a brick. I can't believe how big this thing is. So if you don't know, I actually read Twilight last year for the first time, and I enjoyed it. And then this year I began reading the second and third book, New Moon and Eclipse. You know what, I think I'm gonna close my window. And after reading those, like while reading them, I just got sucked into the story for whatever reason, and I actually really enjoyed them much more than I did Twilight. So I'm actually kind of excited to read this. I kind of know what happens, but I still want to see everything that happens, and I'm really excited because I was not expecting to enjoy the series that much, and then I was pleasantly surprised when I did. I am not going to give a summary of Twilight because at this point, everybody should know what it's about, or the basics, like the bare minimum of what happens, because it's been around for so long and it's so popular, and I didn't even really know what it was about, just like there were vampires, werewolves, you know. So other than that, I don't think you need to know that much, because I mean, it's like a romance and that's all. Next, I'd like to reread Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling. I don't know how many times I will have been reading this. I need to check my video from last year maybe of all the books I read in 2018, because that will give me a number. And I think this is either my 8th or 9th time reading this book, and I started rereading the Harry Potter series earlier in May or April even, but I cannot wait to read this book because it is one of my favorites in the series, and I love it so much. Harry Potter, again, there's not much to say about it, everybody knows about it, so I'm not going to give a description on this because it's the 4th book in the series. And yeah, after that, I'd like to read The Grey Wolf Throne by Cinda Williams-Chima. I started this series earlier this year. I can't remember which month, but the first book is The Demon King, and I actually really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting to like it that much, but I did, and I just kept going with the series. I finished the second book last month, and now I just want to keep reading the series and continue. This is the 3rd book. Now, The Demon King follows 2 perspectives. Former Thief Lord Han, or Cuffs Alistair, and then Princess Reza, who is going to be the heir to the throne and the Grey Wolf Throne. And it just follows them when something is kind of happening at court, and it follows their lives, and it's a slow burn romance because the characters only have like one meeting in the first book, and then towards the end of the book they get to see each other again, and I liked it. I definitely liked the second book more than the first book, but I'm excited to see what this one holds as well. Next, I want to read Lovely War by Julie Berry. I wanted to read this as soon as I got it, but I didn't. I don't know why, I forget at this point. But I've heard such amazing things about this, and I am so excited to read it. I want to see what all the hype is about, and it just sounds so good. It's about a love story, or 2 love stories, told by the gods, mainly Aphrodite, the goddess of love, and I think Ares jumps in a little bit, the god of war. Lovely war, you know, love and war. So it's about these 2 love stories and how they intertwine and connect, and I don't know which war this is during. World War I and II. Okay, so I guess it's both? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, you can always look it up yourself if you want to. I cannot wait to read this. So I have this cup with some prompts in it that I want to use to make this video more interesting for you guys, so I don't have like a set CBR. I have to kind of come up with one with a few of these prompts. I don't know how many I'm going to choose, but we will see. So they're in this Harry Potter cup that I got from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Orlando, Florida, and I kept it. I don't know why, I'm weird like that, but yeah, let's see what I'm going to pick. Okay. Published this year. That's the, I don't know if it's gonna focus, but it says published this year. Oh, All the Stars and Teeth. I think it's like the only book I bought. Oh wait, hang on. I found one. I wasn't sure because I'm pretty sure I only bought 2 books that were published in 2020 this year, but I thought All the Stars and Teeth was the only one I bought, but then I remembered this one, and that is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I'm actually kind of excited I picked this one because I wanted to work this into my TBR, but again, it's a pretty big book, so I'm excited. This will be my first Jennifer L. Armentrout book. I'm not exactly sure what this book is about, and I want to keep it that way, so I'm not going to tell you a summary because I don't want to know the summary. But I've heard pretty good things about this book, and I'm excited to see. Man, my pile is very big with very big books, so maybe 1 or 2 more prompts and we'll call it quits, but we shall see. Okay. Owned for more than 3 years. That's gonna be easy. I have so many books that I've owned for more than 3 years. It's actually a problem, so this should not be that hard. Let me pick one. Okay, so that actually took longer than I thought. I realized that I have a lot of books that I got pretty recently, actually, like within the last year or 2. So I did find a book that I think I got like the year it came out, which was 3 years ago, and that is Moxie by Jennifer Matthew, I think. So this is a feminist book, and I remember Emma from Emma Books talking about it on her channel, and I believe that is why I picked it up in the first place, and I never got around to reading it. So I'm actually really excited to read this. I don't know when else I would have read it. And yeah, I'm actually really excited to put this on my TBR because, wow, yeah, most of them are fantasy, so it will be good to have like a contemporary book on my TBR. You know what, I think I'm gonna do one more. I know the pile is growing. Okay, let's see. This is greater than 500 pages. I'm not doing this, I'm sorry. I already have books that are greater than 500 pages on the TBR, so I'm gonna pick another one. So we have first book in a series. Let me look. I know I have plenty. Okay, so that actually took a lot longer than I had planned to. I had trouble. You see, I like starting series, but when I think about it, I'm like, do I really want to start a series? Because then I have to like focus on reading all the books in the series. So the one I picked I think actually worked well with this challenge. First of all, I don't know if it's like a series or a duology or whatever, but I know there's a second book. I don't have it yet. I don't even know if it's out, but I am counting it still. And that book is Crown of Coral and Pearl by Mara Rutherford. I've heard pretty good things about this book. I'm not really sure what it's about, and I don't want to know because I prefer going into books blind, I've noticed recently. So I'm not going to say what it's about other than it looks like it takes place by the sea. And I've been wanting to read this, I just don't know when I was planning on it, but I'm excited to read it. So those are all the books I plan on reading this month. It's a crazy amount, and a ton of them are huge books, so wish me luck. I don't know if I'll get to all of them. I hope I do though. That is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!